Tao looks at Jen and tells him to leave the team. Jen feels shocked. He asks if Tao wants him to leave the team, if she doesn't want to enter the creation seminary. He reminds her that if he leaves, the trial will end for everyone. Tao explains that everyone in the team, including her, wants to enter the seminary, but as an elven knight, she must follow her beliefs. She cannot agree to his demands. She knows that without Lin, they would not have come this far. Jen feels annoyed. He warns Tao that she will regret her decision. Then he turns around and leaves. Lin stands up and tells the group to get ready to enter the dungeon. Tao feels confused, but Lin moves forward. Ning Yi Yi pulls Tao's up, making her even more confused. The guy and Meow feel the same way, but they decide to follow Lin. Lin walks toward the dungeon entrance. Ning Yi Yi happily follows him. She seems to trust him completely. Tao believes that if anything goes wrong, they can turn back. She also believes that the people inside the dungeon will not dare to kill anyone because of her. As they move into the dungeon, the people inside take out their weapons and prepare to attack. However, Lin keeps moving forward with his team. Some people recognize Lin as the summoner who helped them earlier. Without his summoned creature, they would not have made it this far. Most of them decide to protect him. Jen watches them and thinks they are fools. Lin ignores all the warnings, and the people inside the dungeon finally attack. Tao quickly raises her shield to protect the group. At that moment, Lin activates his powers and summons the skeleton warriors. A lot of skeletal warriors appear around them. The skeleton warriors form a protective circle, blocking all the attacks. Tao feels surprised when he sees Lin summon so many skeletal warriors. Ning cannot believe that these skeletons block all the attacks without any problem. The people inside the dungeon feel shocked. They don't understand how this profession can summon so many creatures. The skeletons look weak, but they are too strong. No attack can damage them. Everyone thinks it doesn't make sense. The skeletons keep moving forward without stopping. Now, they are going to enter the dungeon. The people inside feel nervous because they need to stop them before it is too late. One of them tries to attack them again, but Lin doesn't react. He calmly selects nightmare-level difficulty. In an instant, Lin with his team and the skeletal warriors enters into the dungeon. Inside the dungeon, Tao feels a little worried, but Ning tells her to stay calm because Lin's skeletons are very powerful. Tao decides to trust them and hopes their attacks are strong enough. She prepares to block the monsters and asks Miao Yu to heal her when needed. She also leaves crowd control to Miao Yu. Miao Yu feels confident and promises to help. Another teammate gives his blessings for the battle. Suddenly, a system notification appears. It announces that a level 21 elite merfolk warrior is killed. Lin's team gains experience points and fish scales. Miao Yu and the teammate feel surprised. They don't understand why they are receiving experience points so suddenly. Then, another system notification appears, showing details about the elite merfolk warrior. It has high stats in strength, agility, spirit, and physique. It also has a skill called Shriek. However, before the monster can do anything, Lin's skeletal warriors kill it instantly. Lin keeps moving forward and tells his skeletons to continue searching for the target. Tao watches in shock. She cannot believe that Lin's skeletons kill an enhanced nightmare-level monster in just one attack. Normally, even a perfect team would need at least 1 to 2 minutes to defeat it. Ning Yi Yi happily reminds them how strong Lin's skeletal warriors are. Lin tells everyone to hurry along. The guy feels shocked and unable to understand what just happened. Tao doesn't waste time thinking about it. She knows there is no point in trying to understand the situation now. Instead, she tells everyone to hurry up and follow Lin. Lin uses his power, Rage Strike. His skeletal warriors continue attacking every enemy in their path. They clear the way easily without any effort. No monster can stop them as they move forward without slowing down. Tao thinks she has never cleared a dungeon this fast before. Usually, she stands at the front and takes the most damage while protecting the team. But this time, she barely does anything. Miao Yu and the guy think they are not needed. There is nothing for them to do. After walking through a long alley, they finally reach a cliff. Lin thinks this is a dead end. There are not a lot of monsters in this dungeon. Yi notices a dark shadow in the water. She quickly points at it and asks if that is the dungeon boss. A giant merfolk queen serpent slowly emerges from the water. A system notification appears and says the monster is at level 23 and has extremely high stats. It can use Lash to attack, Death Strangle to trap its targets, and Venom to deal damage over time. Lin notices that the merfolk queen serpent has higher attributes than the Goblin King. His skeletal warriors have 2,700 attributes, but this enemy is even stronger. Tao gets ready to take its attacks, but Lin stops her. He tells her there is no need. The skeletal warriors charge toward the serpent. The serpent reacts quickly and fights back with powerful attacks. It knocks several skeletal warriors away. The serpent moves very fast, making it difficult to hit. Tao starts to feel worried. Lin casts a new skill, Slow Curse. A red chain appears on the serpent's body. Its speed is reduced by half. The skeletal warriors take advantage of this and attack it. Tao wonders if this is a curse-type skill, and Lin confirms it. She feels shocked. He already has powerful summons, and now he also uses curse skills. She wonders what else a necromancer can do. The serpent uses another skill, Death Strangle. It grabs several skeletal warriors and crushes them. However, they survive the attack. The serpent spits venom, but it has no effect on undead creatures. The skeletal warriors continue to fight. After a few minutes, one of the skeletal warriors pierces the serpent's head. The serpent lets out a final cry before collapsing. Lin gets shocked and says it's over. A system notification appears, announcing the defeat of the level 23 merfolk queen serpent. Lin and his team gain 50,000 experience points. They also receive valuable rewards. The loot includes a silver-grade serpent skin armor and an intermediate-level monster core. The fight is over, but the team takes a moment to process everything. Suddenly, Ning laughs with joy. The teammate feels amazed because he has gained so much experience without doing anything. Tao quickly reminds everyone to stay focused and follow Lin. She points out something important. Since the defeated monster was the queen's pet snake, the dungeon boss is likely the queen of the mer people. Lin leads the team deeper into the cave. As they walk, the strong fishy smell appears, making it hard to breathe. The surroundings change, and soon, the Mermaid Queen's palace appears in front of them. The Queen Palace guards stand at the entrance. Ning Yi carefully counts them and realizes there are 180 elite merfolk soldiers in formation. Everyone looks at Lin, waiting for his next move. He doesn't look worried. Instead, he looks excited. He thinks the more the monsters are, the better. Tao feels nervous and tries to stop Lin. She thinks even though his skeletal warriors are strong, rushing forward seems reckless. Before she can say anything, the skeletal warriors charge at the merfolk guards. A system notification appears, saying the elite mer soldiers are enhanced elite monsters with high stats. Their strength is at 2,200, agility at 1,400, vigor at 1,000, and physique at 2,400. They also have a special talent called Stunning Sweep, making them even more dangerous in battle. The skeleton warriors use berserk strikes against the guards. Ning gets worried. Lin activates his powers and tells her to cover her ears. Before Ning can understand, a loud explosion shakes the palace. More explosions follow quickly. In an instant, the entire merfolk guards are gone. Tao and the others feel shocked as multiple system notifications appear. They cannot believe what is happening. The talent seems incredibly powerful, and they don't understand how Lin is doing this. For the first time, They experience a flood of notifications like this, making the battle feel even more overwhelming. Suddenly, the large palace doors open. A powerful aura fills the space, and the merfolk queen appears. She stands tall, looking elegant but terrifying. The system notification says she is a boss-level monster, and her talent includes fearsome shriek, billowing wave, and tears of the queen. The merfolk queen looks at Ning Yi, and at that moment, Ning Yi starts walking toward her. Lin reacts quickly and grabs her before she moves too far. Tao is also affected, but the skeletal warriors step in and block her path. Miao Yu, standing there, suddenly realizes what is happening. Thinking fast, she casts a special spell to break the effect. Slowly, Ning Yi and Tao return to normal. Miao Yu explains that the merfolk queen is using a passive charm spell to control their minds without them noticing. It's lucky that Lin was here to stop them, otherwise the whole team would be dead. The merfolk queen suddenly lets out a chilling scream. She uses her power, fearsome shriek. Her body transforms, revealing her true strength. Tao knows that defeating an enemy like this usually takes hours. But with Lin, everything is different. She cannot predict his moves or how the battle will unfold. The Queen of the Mer people has an extremely high power stat. Even Lin's skeletons may struggle to withstand her attacks. The scene reminds Tao of a pack of wolves foolishly attacking a lion. It is hard to tell who will win. The skeletal warriors are not able to stand against the strong wind. The queen attacks, destroying several warriors in one strike. Tao prepares to help, but Lin stops her. He casts Slow Curse again. The queen's speed drops immediately. Angry, the queen screams and uses a powerful skill, Billowing Waves. The skeletal warriors destroyed under the attack. Tao thinks the skeleton warriors cannot defeat the queen and asks Lin to retreat. But Lin has a different plan. He recalls the injured warriors and quickly summons the remaining 87 skeleton warriors as well. The others watch in shock. They thought Lin had already used all his warriors, but he still has more. His ability to control such a large army surprises them. With fresh reinforcements, the skeletal warriors charge at the queen again. The queen fights back using her power, the tears of the queen. But the skeleton warriors doesn't stop. In a desperate move, the queen uses one of her strongest abilities, Queen's Lament. This skill usually breaks the spirit of enemies, but it has no effect on skeleton warriors. Finally, the merfolk queen lets out one last scream before collapsing. A system alert confirms their victory. The team gains a huge amount of experience, and valuable loot appears. Ning Yi jumps with excitement. This fight brings them one step closer to the Creation Seminary. Tao reminds the team that more trials are ahead. However, she admits that without Lin, they would not have made it this far. Miao and the guy agree. Miao quietly mentions how terrible Jen was, and the guy says they should never team up with someone like him again. Lin checks the time and turns to Ning Yi. He asks if she has cooldown amulets. At first, she looks confused, but then her eyes light up as she understands. The others also start to realize his plan. Lin and his team leave the dungeon. The people outside feel shocked. They think it is too fast since only half an hour has passed. Some believe they ran away because they could not fight. Others laugh and say Lin's skeletons are weak. Some people worry about them. They say it is okay if they didn't clear the dungeon because safety is more important. Jen feels annoyed and questions why they entered as a group if they didn't fight properly. Tao warns everyone to be careful because no one else has entered the dungeon yet. Ning tells her to relax because Lin is with them. Tao and Ning decide to follow their plan. Ning takes out a special talisman and enters the dungeon again. The people outside feel shocked. They wonder how she got such a rare and powerful item. They see only 2 people entering the highest level dungeon and think they are going to die. Tao hopes they can succeed. Ning trusts Lin's skills and believes he can clear it alone. She feels confident that they will be fine. Inside the dungeon, Ning jokes with Lin. She didn't expect to level up with his help so soon. She asks him not to give up. Lin agrees, and they move forward. Ning checks the talisman's power and realizes they can use it to clear the dungeon twice. She plans to collect as many merfolk's tears as possible. She tells Lin they need to be quick. Lin assures her that he is the fastest. As they continue, a monster watches them from the shadows. They soon find the merfolk queen's serpent. Lin attacks, and the system announces their victory. They kill a level 23 monster and earn 125,000 experience points. Lin obtains silver-grade armor, called Serpent Skin Armor, and an intermediate level monster core. He realizes they reach this stage much faster than before. Last time it took half an hour, but now it only takes 5 minutes. Ning feels amazed by his speed. Lin and Ning continue to the merfolk queen's palace. Inside, Lin's skeleton warriors fight against the palace guards. After the guards are defeated, Lin knows the queen will appear next. The system provides details about the merfolk queen. She is a boss-level monster with high stats and special skills, including Fearsome Shriek, Billowing Wave, and Tears of the Queen. Ning feels nervous. She remembers that looking at the queen's face caused problems last time. She decides to avoid eye contact to stay safe. She tells Lin to defeat the queen quickly. Lin activates his slow curse and corpse explosion skills. The merfolk queen screams in pain as strong metal chains trap her. The system confirms their victory. Lin kills the merfolk queen and gains 200,000 experience points. He obtains 2 silver-grade weapons, the merfolk queen's sword and the merfolk queen's grimoire. The sword increases agility and the power of assassin skills. The grimoire increases spirit and enhances mage-related skills. Both weapons require level 20 to use. He also obtains a merfolk tier. Ning feels excited because she levels up. She quickly tells Lin to go again and collect more tiers. Lin agrees. He thinks about Ning's leveling speed. When they first met, she was level 19, and he was level 10. After all this time, she only reaches level 20. He realizes that she doesn't like farming for levels. Lin and Ning leave the dungeon. Ning informs Tao that they are done. The people outside feel surprised. They think it is impossible to finish so quickly. It has not even been 10 minutes. They assume Lin and Ning failed to kill any monsters and wasted the cooldown talisman. Some believe they just ran away. Tao also feels shocked. She cannot believe they finished in only 10 minutes. Miao, another teammate, realizes that Lin is much stronger than they thought. Instead of resting, Lin and Ning enter the dungeon again. Ning treats it like a game. She wants to beat their previous time. Inside, they move even faster. When they finish, she checks the time and sees they clear the dungeon in 8 minutes and 58 seconds, which is 30 seconds faster than before. Lin tells her they are done and should return. Ning feels excited to see everyone's reactions when they exit again. When they come out, the people outside feel shocked again. They don't believe Lin and Ning actually cleared the dungeon. They assume they wasted the talisman and ran away again. Some even mock them. Tao asks if they collected all the merfolk's tears. Ning reassures her that there is no problem. Suddenly, the dungeon starts disappearing. Everyone feels shocked. They know that a dungeon should not vanish unless 3 merfolk's tears are taken. They realize that Lin and Ning entered 3 times and took all the tears. The people now believe they were the ones who cleared the dungeon. One man steps forward and refuses to let them leave. He wants to take the merfolk's tears from them. The crowd realizes that Jiang Taotao's party has all the tears. Some people don't believe it, but they see the dungeon is truly gone. They agree that they must protect Tao's team from the man trying to steal from them. The man prepares to attack. He summons a lot of monsters. Tao feels scared. Lin acts quickly. He uses his Soul Blaze skill and attacks the monsters. The man becomes angry and orders Lin to die. The man activates his power and calls for a martial god. Many monsters appear, ready to attack Lin. Lin stays calm and activates his power and summons skeleton warriors. The skeleton warriors attack quickly, and Lin feels surprised by how weak the monsters seem. His teammates are also shocked, realizing that Lin's power is extremely strong. One of them comments that he defeated a martial god in just one attack. The man who summoned the martial god suffers backlash from its defeat and spits out blood. He realizes that he takes damage whenever his martial god dies. As Lin's skeleton warriors move forward, they attack him, making him feel more pain. Lin summons 2 more skeleton warriors and orders them to finish off the man. Seeing the danger, the man gets scared and runs away with his remaining monsters. The people watching are amazed. They cannot believe that Lin's summoned creatures are this strong. They question his abilities and wonder about his profession. Some of them suspect that he has awakened a rare talent. One person realizes that Lin is a necromancer at level 17 and thinks that he must be extremely powerful. This person plans to report the information about Lin to others. Meanwhile, Lin and his skeleton warriors remain strong. The skeletons move toward the people and fear spreads among them. One person panics and runs away, saying he doesn't want to fight against such creatures. Others quickly follow, afraid of dying. They believe there is no way to win if even a martial god was defeated so easily. Some of the remaining people laugh at those who are running away. They make fun of them for being scared of skeletons. However, they also recognize that these are not normal skeletons. They are powerful enough to clear a nightmare-level dungeon. One person expresses admiration for Lin, saying he is a role model. Another agrees, impressed by how he defeated the martial god in a single strike. Among them, Jen becomes angry. He regrets leaving the group before completing the trial. He feels frustrated and convinces himself that he didn't make a mistake. However, he vows that he will not let things end here and plans to take action in the future. At that moment, Tao activates her power and announces that the trial is completed. A teleportation process begins, and Lin, along with the others, disappears from the area. Later in a classroom at Qianlong Academy, Tao expresses her gratitude toward Lin. She tells him that this task was very important to her. Ning, another teammate, sighs with relief, saying she is exhausted. She also mentions that Lin is actually a good person, even though he doesn't talk much. Tao teases her for always defending him. Suddenly, Lin receives a system notification. He is called to the dean by Yiyuan's office. When he arrives, Yiyuan praises his performance during the trial. Lin responds humbly, saying he only did what was necessary. Yiyuan notices his humility and thinks highly of him. Yiyuan asks if Lin knows the purpose of the merfolk tears. Lin doesn't know and wonders if they are important. Yiyuan explains they help awaken talents at level 40, making them rare and valuable. The Sakura Kingdom carefully planned to obtain them, nearly ruining the trial. Luckily, Lin retrieved them for Shenxi. After hearing this, Yiyuan offers to fulfill one of Lin's wishes as a reward. Lin considers asking for information about his sister, as he has been unable to find anything about her. Finally, he decides to ask Yiyuan for help in finding someone. Yiyuan reveals that he already expected this request. He informs Lin that his sister, Lin Mohan, joined the Creation Seminary earlier that year. Because of the rules, there is no available information about her, as all students from the Creation Seminary remain hidden from public records. Lin is shocked to hear this. He recalls that Zhang Taotao's ultimate goal is also the Creation Seminary. His other friends, Ye and Xiaxijie, have also encouraged him to join if he ever gets the chance. However, he never expected his sister to be there already. He finds it surprising that she was able to enroll in such a prestigious place in less than a year. Yi Yuan explains that, according to the rules, he cannot provide further information. He also warns Lin that he may not be able to see his sister unless he joins the creation seminary himself. Yi Yuan sends him the admission requirements, making it clear that Lin must qualify on his own if he wants to reunite with his sister. He also clarifies that this information doesn't count as Lin's reward and allows him to ask for something else. Thinking carefully, Lin requests a cooldown talisman. He knows that this item is extremely rare and not available in the market. He also understands that it will be very useful for him at this stage. Yi Yuan laughs and says he already expected this request. However, he explains that even a beginner-level cooldown talisman is difficult to obtain. Completing just one trial is not enough to earn it. Yi Yuan then offers another task. If Lin completes it, he will receive the cooldown talisman. Lin immediately agrees, knowing that it will help him level up faster and reach the creation seminary sooner. However, Yi Yuan informs him that he must wait until he reaches level 20 to take on this task. To speed up his progress, Lin can level up at the school's dungeon hall. Yi Yuan gives him a rare teleportation stone, and Lin activates it without hesitation. As he vanishes, Yi Yuan is surprised he isn't resting after the trial. Lin arrives at the dungeon hall, where people are looking for teammates. Lin arrives at a place where he learns about the requirements to enter the creation seminary. The system tells him that he must be above level 30. He realizes that his older sister reached level 30 in just a few months at Xiaojing Academy. The second requirement is passing a level 30 dungeon in the Dunian Abyss at its highest difficulty. The last requirement is collecting 1,000 contribution points. Lin knows that the dungeon will be much harder than the nightmare difficulty level, and wonders if he can clear it alone. He also doesn't know how to obtain the contribution points. Shu Han offers to introduce Lin to the dungeons for 100 points. Lin agrees, and she explains the dungeon hall's structure. There are 95 dungeons, divided by level ranges, with some allowing large groups. Each dungeon has a clearing record, with extra rewards for breaking it. They are in the Task and Team Recruitment Center, where players earn points or find teammates. Lin asks how he can earn contribution points. Shu Han explains that the Academy organizes trials, and players earn contribution points by completing those tasks. Lin realizes that he needs 1,000 points, but most tasks only give 2 to 3 points, with the highest reward being just 10 points. Shu Han agrees that collecting points is very difficult because tasks get completed quickly. She also confirms that contribution points are necessary for entering the creation seminary. Suddenly, Lin receives a notification. He gets 50 contribution points. A message from Duan Gao asks him if he also received points. Duan Gao says he got 20 points, while Sister Tao received 30 points. She is very happy. People nearby are shocked when they hear Lin got 50 points. They find it hard to believe because he doesn't look like a high-level player. Lin thanks Shu Han for explaining everything. Shu Han tells him it is no problem since he paid her. She asks if he is looking for a party to clear a dungeon. Instead of answering, Lin checks his status. He sees information about a dungeon called Mutated Forest. It is a level 17 dungeon, and players must be between levels 15 and 19 to enter. It costs 10 points to enter and 40 points to reset the cooldown. The clearing record is 58 minutes, while another record is 1 hour and 17 minutes. Lin notices that nobody has broken the record for 3 years. He decides that he will be the one to do it. He chooses the nightmare difficulty level. The people around him react with surprise. They think he is a low-level player, so they don't expect much from him. Some think he must have received 50 normal points instead of contribution points. Inside the dungeon, Lin starts fighting. His skeleton warriors kill monsters and collect experience points. He doesn't waste time on small enemies and goes directly to the dungeon boss. He finds the mutated dragon turtle, a level 19 boss. Its physique stat is extremely high, even higher than a level 24 merfolk queen. The dragon turtle becomes angry and attacks his skeleton warriors. Lin notices that their rage strike attack doesn't do much damage because the turtle's shell is very tough. Now he understands why no one has broken the record in 3 years. Since he is in a hurry, Lin decides to use his special power, Soul Blaze. His skeleton warriors flip the dragon turtle over. He attacks with Rage Strike, and the system confirms that he has killed the mutated dragon turtle. He gains 150,000 experience points and new equipment, including a bronze-level weapon called Dragon Turtle Fist Set and bronze-level armor called Dragon Turtle Heavy Armor. He also gets a low-level monster core. Lin calculates that he has gained about 35% experience in total. One more dungeon run should be enough for him to reach level 18. He also wonders what reward he will get for setting a new record. Outside, people hear the bell ringing. This means someone has set a new record. They are surprised and wonder which elite team did it. The system announces that Lin has cleared the mutated forest dungeon in 35 minutes. His ranking is now number 1. People are shocked. They realize that he cleared the dungeon alone, which is not normal. His time is almost twice as fast as the previous record. Lin exits the dungeon, and the system updates the record. He receives 1,000 points and 5 contribution points. He realizes that setting new records is another way to earn contribution points. He decides to clear more dungeons to collect points faster. People start wondering if he will solo another dungeon. Some higher-level players feel embarrassed to ask for his help. They now believe that he really did receive 50 contribution points earlier. Lin checks another dungeon called Spider Nest. It is a level 20 dungeon, but the entry requirement is level 18. He realizes that he must clear the mutated forest again to level up. People notice that he returns to the dungeon and understand that he is only level 17. They are shocked because he solo cleared the dungeon and broke a record at such a low level. 30 minutes later, Lin exits the dungeon again. This time, he has reached level 18. The people watching are amazed. They predict that he will now break the record for Spider Nest. Someone asks if anyone timed his last dungeon run. They feel that he was even faster this time. They are surprised that he set another record and wonder if he was holding back earlier. People start questioning where Lin came from. They realize that the previous record for the mutated forest was created by a nearly perfect team of 5 and lasted for 3 years. Now, a newcomer has broken it twice in a short time. Lin checks the record for the Spider Nest dungeon. The record is 1 hour and 12 minutes, and it was also set by the same team that held the mutated forest record. Nobody has broken it for 3 years. He decides that he must clear this dungeon next. Since he needs more contribution points, he chooses the Nightmare difficulty level again. Lin enters the dungeon and looks around. The place is dark, and he realizes it is the Spider Nest. He activates his powers and summons his skeleton warriors. The dungeon looks like a maze, so he decides to send his skeletons forward to find a path. As the skeletons move, they start fighting spiders. The system gives notifications that he has killed a level 20 scarlet spider and a level 19 long-haired spider. He gains experience and collects spider silk. He notices there are many split paths, and almost all of his skeletons are in combat. This slows him down. A system notification appears, showing details of a small spider. Lin realizes that even these small spiders are part of the dungeon. He decides to use his skill, Soul Blaze, to attack them all at once. After using the skill, he sees that he has killed at least 100 small spiders in one wave. The experience he gains is equal to defeating 20 enhanced elite monsters of the same level. He thinks this is the best place for farming experience. One of his skeleton warriors appears, but it is covered in spiders. Lin orders it to return, but the command fails. He realizes it must be because too many spiders are on its body. To solve this, he uses his corpse explosion skill, clearing all the spiders. More system notifications appear, showing he has gained experience from killing many small spiders. He decides to take advantage of this farming opportunity. He sends out his 108 skeletons in groups of 10, so the spiders cannot overpower them. After 10 minutes, Lin finds the level 21 Spider King. It has powerful abilities like web spitting, acid, and wind turbulence. Lin prepares to attack, knowing it prefers fighting in groups. Outside the dungeon, people discuss his progress. Some doubt he can clear it alone, noting the record is 1 hour and 12 minutes, and he has already spent over an hour inside. Inside the dungeon, Lin sees that his experience has increased by 80% from one clear. However, the fight took too long. The total time is now 1 hour and 32 minutes. He realizes he needs to clear it again, because he must earn contribution points. The system shows he has killed the Spider King and obtained a silver-grade weapon called the Spider Blade. Outside, Shuhan notices he is still in the dungeon and wonders what happened. When he finally comes out, she is happy to see him. She asks if he cleared the dungeon, saying it is okay if he didn't, because the number of monsters makes it almost impossible to clear alone. Lin thanks her and says he did clear it. Shuhan is surprised. She thinks his speed is comparable to a team of 5 people who hold the record. He looks so relaxed, as if clearing the dungeon was easy for him. Lin then asks if she knows which dungeons give the highest experience. Shuhan says that among dungeons below level 25, the spider nest gives the most experience. Lin compares it to another dungeon, Mutated Forest. The spider nest gives almost 3 times the experience, but the clearance time is long. 1 clear of the spider nest is like clearing Mutated Forest 4 times. He then uses 40 points to reset the dungeon cooldown. He realizes that farming like this requires many points to reset the cooldown each time. He asks if there are any dungeons that give high experience and are also fast to clear. Shuhan tells him about the Tyrant Desert Large Dungeon. It is a level 25 dungeon, but players can enter at level 20 by forming a team of 40 people. Many high-level players earn points by helping newcomers clear it. Lin thinks about whether he can clear it alone. He also remembers that White God's mission requires him to reach level 20. He thanks Shuhan and leaves, deciding he must speed up his progress. Shuhan is surprised and asks if he is going to clear the spider nest again. Lin confirms that he is taking all the experience. In another location, Bai Yiwan is watching Lin through a screen. He talks to Meng Anwen and Hong Shan about Lin's battle. Bai Yiwan says that even though he met Lin before, he was still surprised by his skills. Meng mentions that Lin has already cleared the Merfolk dungeon alone and obtained all 3 Merfolk tiers. Hong points out that the students from Qianlong Academy cannot compare to Lin, even though he is just a new student who recently passed the entrance exam. Meng asks about Lin's talent. Bai Yiyuan confirms that it is an enhancing talent, but doesn't know how many times it enhances. Meng thinks Lin is very skilled based on his dungeon trials. Bai Yiyuan agrees and believes Lin has a promising future. He also mentions Lin's sister, who has joined the Creation Seminary and is being fully trained by an experienced master. This master has trained many human elites, and Bai Yiyuan believes he might also take Lin as a student. Meng says that in the near future, the human race might have 2 rising stars. Hong thinks Lin will become a one-man army, capable of fighting against thousands. Lin enters the spider nest again. This time, he doesn't kill all the spiders. He loses a little experience, but his clearance time is much faster. His experience gain is still 70%. He is confident that this time he will break the record. Outside, the bell rings again. The people watching wonder who set a new record this time. Someone recognizes Lin and says he entered a dungeon not long ago. They are amazed by his talent. However, Jen appears and claims Lin is just lucky. He says that Lin has a connection with White God and probably received a powerful treasure from him. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to clear a nightmare-level dungeon alone. Shu Han becomes angry and questions what is wrong with students from ordinary backgrounds setting records. Another person accuses Jen of looking down on others and asks if he has any evidence to back his claims. Then, someone notices Lin coming out of the dungeon. They announce that he has broken the record again. This time, he cleared the dungeon in 47 minutes, nearly half an hour faster than the previous record. Lin sees Jen and wonders why he is here again. Jen becomes angry and accuses Lin of pretending. He insists that Lin only succeeds because of White God's support. He calls Lin just a top scorer in the country. Lin releases a strong power aura. He has endured enough. He feels restricted in the academy, unable to do as he pleases. Jen becomes nervous and questions if Lin thinks he is scared. But deep inside, Jen starts to feel afraid. He wonders why Lin's gaze makes him feel uneasy. He convinces himself that he is imagining things. Lin doesn't want to waste time fighting Jen. His goal is clear. He must reach level 20 today.